Testing. Isn't that nice? It seems to be that things are working quite fine on this end, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's call aioli. Heil Hitler.
Nice to see you too. I'm gonna go video 3 and something negative.
Hello. The complicated setup is set up, and I am recording for whatever that's worth.
I'm cooking a homemade pizza, which is almost as good. It's actually better, I think.
Right. Okay, well, I should tell you really quick, so much stuff to get into, so much stuff. That thing you posted in the Discord, what is the spending bill? That is from March 23rd, 2018. That is the last spending bill.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, so I don't want to make fun, but, you know, man.
I'm not good at shit.
There's been 3 of them, so it's understandable, but I wonder if I can make your voice louder on this thing.
I'll project. I'll summon my key to masculinity.
Sound.
Which I don't have anymore because I'm too much cardio.
Right, because, oh, I haven't been doing that, by the way, so if we actually do it, you're going to kick my ass.
I was going to kick your ass in any case, but...
Well, okay.
You could at least make make sport out of it, you know?
Yeah, that's sort of the point, ultimately, so I should just pretend like I have a chance.
Well, I do think that you have more time to work on it, and your body would respond to training more quickly.
Right, I just have to stop drinking and smoking cigars every single day.
You would, if you were exercising, you would find that would happen all on its own.
That is true. And it's, to get a little technical, a little nerdy here, get a little fucking nerdy, it's, you know, nicotine's an analog to acetylcholine. So literally I've worked out and I've smoked a cigar, and it's nice to have the added blood flow, you know, so in that sense it's better, but you don't get as much of a benefit because you already have the acetylcholine and shit from working out.
Exercise releases acetylcholine? I wonder where that.
Well, it's just, you know, it's what makes your muscles fire. So, and
Can you nerd out about that a little bit?
That's all I know.
Well, why do you suppose that would produce, like, introspection?
Well, what I mean is that one of the effects of the cigars is that you kind of feel, in a sense, like this feeling similar to working out, and it's that acetylcholine feeling. So it's literally just that, you know? You don't get that if you've already worked out, really. I'm sure if you smoked enough you would, but at that point, you know, that's sort of like the dangerous aspect of nicotine, because, you know, it's going to activate all the muscles in your body, which is why cigars make you shit, by the way.
I thought that was just the dehydration.
No, it's the Thalwars.
Alright, so I'm learning a lot. I don't know that I can use it. It just explains that why exercise, like cardio in particular.
Yeah, fuck you. No, not talking to you. I'm talking to the goddamn pool robot just squirted me. But keep going.
That reminds me of your text. Which
Yeah.
we don't have to share, but... Shit, oh, right. I was wondering before why cardio makes the insights come faster. Like, if I'm ever in particularly good cardio shape and I exercise, then afterward I become very, I don't know, what's the word when you become, like, when your imagination takes off and you become kind of absent-minded because, like, you're daydreaming very, almost vividly sometimes. I get that a lot when I exercise, though, when I do cardio.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Okay, but we have lots to get to. You said.
Yeah, well, we do. I mean, there's all this stuff that's happened, and I've got like 2 hours of sleep in the last 3 days. I'm out of my mind. It's perfect. Everything is perfect.
Why you were so chipper?
Why I was so what?
Chipper.
Oh, fuck. You call it that. It's a weird thing. It's basically replication of alcohol consumption. So, but I lived many, many years of my life getting absurdly low amounts of sleep. So in some ways, it awakens kind of like an older version of one which was frankly more aggressive. Just to be honest, and that's how it is.
Got it.
It's like if you were an alcoholic, and you spent years being an alcoholic, and then you get drunk, you're basically another person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's just that.
Yeah, I've seen that in real life, where the person has like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing going on.
Right. So that's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is talking about dopamine demons. There you go.
I mean, that does explain it, because the addiction becomes its own personality, because I imagine what it's like when you're actually living in the same body with that addiction is watching yourself go into autopilot, like telling any lie or cheating and stealing, just in the way of getting that next fixed. And I imagine the person kind of is watching, just riding along when that part happens, because it's a noticeable difference when a person like gets into that mode.
Yeah.
And you say, well, how about if I take away this alcohol, and then they'll the other personality will come in immediately to try to defend that supply.
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
That's right. I'm more of a skooma man myself.
Take enough so you can fly. Yeah. What so.
Pizza. Tell me what we're talking about.
Well, so you apparently aren't as negative about the Trump thing as I am. I don't really understand that.
I'm holding judgment in abeyance more than I was yesterday. Not the same thing. I still figure, if not absolutely negative, then at least really bad optics for his face. So that's really bad, even if it's just that. And I don't think it's just that. But,
yeah.
I want to find out what Ethmark is saying about it, because that guy's freaking smart.
Who?
There's a dude on the right stuff who does the deep dives with Jazz Hands McFeels. And Jazz Hands is kind of like a degenerate elite type, while Ethmark is a trained lawyer. So between the two of them, they do a pretty good job. So I want to see what those guys say and why they're thinking like that the things that are rumored to be in there are not actually.
Okay, but when has something bad been rumored to be in there and it wasn't? It's always the good things that get misconstrued.
That's not something I'm familiar enough with to say. I don't follow politics as closely as you do.
All right, well, I had this. I was really pissed off. I had all the stuff I wanted to say. I already wrote the thing, and I just can't. I can't find it in me to do it. So. I mean, whatever. People either. It'll be a couple weeks, right? It'll be a couple weeks, but people will either get it or they won't. People will either get it or they won't, and not my responsibility to say the same things a dozen times. So,
Do we have other things to talk about? Because I feel like you are trying very hard not to rant.
Yeah, that's true.
Quick distraction.
I mean, fuck this guy, man. I mean, fuck this guy.
My Pony's coming out. Did you hear?
What is?
Season 7 of My Little Pony.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true. I was just trying to get you off on. Oh, hey, actually, what we could talk about is Nausicaa stuff.
okay, sure.
That'd be fun. I don't have anything particular to add other than what other people have added.
Oh, well, I don't either. So it's a nice topic, but
And I assume you don't want to talk about the Discord shit.
No, I do. Let's talk about Discord.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm the villain. I'm the horrible melon. I'm here to usurp everyone and become the guru of a tiny corner of the internet, which would, let's be honest, if I put the amount of effort I put into this corner of the internet, into making a simple YouTube channel, for God's sakes, it's been years of commenting. For fuck's sake, guys. Why would a self-improvement blog dethrone text or it's crazy. It's just crazy. So that's the first thing. Dreamland drama. Why don't you say your stuff and then I can say all my stuff all angry like?
I can't say further stuff, if only because it's my job to keep a lid on the thing. But just aside from that, I don't have any other real strong feelings on it.
Right.
In actuality, I tend to be pretty level about these things.
Yeah.
I enjoy the conflict, but I'm not allowed to get in and actually dust up.
Okay. Well, I think this exchange went well. I've always had suspicions about Pref C just because of the way he'd snipe at me before. So whatever to that, right? And I knew, Fox was Fox. Whatever to that. Really, it's just my fault, really. I mean, not this incident, because I just posted 2 fucking links. But like giving up the Discord, I should not have given up the Discord. I should not have, because if I hadn't, then people would have got bantsed to death if they came in with the kind of bullshit that they have on that Discord. Because people call them out, and nobody. You remember how it used to be, right? It was the Wild West.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that it was like the blog comments that way back in the days of like the food fights and shit.
Right.
And I kind of moved to the Discord.
And then the person in question did all that stuff, and
I shut it all down.
I shut it all down. I gave it to you, and then the Dark Ages started, so to speak. But I mean, whatever. I'm glad I got to talk to some people in PMs, and I'm not talking about the assholes. I'm talking about I got to talk to some really nice people, and it was awesome. I've made a couple new friends, honestly, and for that reason, I can't just say fuck this. But the other good and this is the thing, my blog traffic is super high. So drama does work.
Oh, yeah. I won't disagree with you there even a little bit. I suppose how do I don't know. I suppose I have mixed feelings on drama, but I like fighting.
I really realized how much I missed it. It's so entertaining.
Yeah, responsibility sucks sometimes.
Responsibility? Look, I mean, what are you talking about, bro?
Hey, I'm plenty responsible. I'll have you know.
Well, I mean,
$10 back. This pizza is immaculate. The key is to use biscuit dough.
Oh, you made an actual homemade pizza. Okay, that is quite interesting. Maybe I'll have to send you a pizza stone. It really will be the perfect pizza. Paris perfect pizza. What?
You should send me a link to your Amazon affiliate page, and I can buy it from there.
I would like to, I'm gonna write the Edenism book, and I'm gonna start the Dr. Oz Edenism show, and I'm gonna milk Edenism for all that it's worth. Which is nothing, guys.
I would almost be for somebody doing that, if only to actually get the damn thing written.
I could write a horrible meme book. Because I can't think longer than 2 sentences, the internet's destroyed my capacity for any kind of focus, right? That's why I talked so much about that, because it's a problem that affects me.
Yeah, me too. I think to a lesser extent than average, but a lot more than I would like, just on account of having a smartphone. And when I got the Discord on the phone at first, it would alert me anytime somebody messaged something, and that destroyed me.
Oh, that's just horrible.
I think I had that going on for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I can't even concentrate anymore. So that was no good. I'm usually pretty good about concentrating when compared to my peers, but that's damning with faint praise.
I sure hope this microphone's on. But this is yeah, focus is it's pretty hard.
The Sleepcast.
Welcome to the up for 3 days with very little sleep and has been drinking and tobaccoing just the same cast. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm super. I've got my pizza. I've got fun times in life going on. My job kind of sucked for like the last half of the week, but it's generally been all right. And life's pretty good. I got a lot of the things that I never thought I would have.
Huh. Well, that's all you can ask for. Have you actually reached baseline? I have this theory that baseline is actually all that you ever can reach now. That's me black pilling. I'm not sure. I'm black pilled and go the other way, right? We have to, after this, go the other way as hard as possible. Not, well, kind of.
Baseline, because there are lots of things, like basic drives that I don't have strong hopes of fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like having a legacy, of children and institutions in America. Like, that's the sort of thing where it's difficult to hope for that.
Oh, that.
But that's kind of that's out there in abstraction land. Which, I live more in abstraction land than most people, but it's still not the same as, like, having an empty stomach right now.
Okay. All I can say is watch the Battle of Stalingrad and bring it out of abstraction and into the glory of reality, the glory of eating people and dying in the snow, because it's just wonderful. It's just, God, the future's so bright.
How did you feel about my my listing of how things will actually break down? I think I said first thing would be people voted socialism, then all the infrastructure crumbles, then somebody out there sees our military capabilities faltering, so they're like, I'm going to try buying oil in something that's not petrodollars. And then we would go to war with them, and then we would have trouble because we don't have an infrastructure, like for real. Even the remainder from years gone by is going to be, it's becoming a problem. And then, what I said. So, okay, other countries see that sets off the preference cascade. World order changes. Fuck. The dollar ceases to be the reserve currency of the world. Trade deficit goes away. Everybody's running at about half the prosperity they were before. So I figured that combined with the existing diversity and proximity produces war. More often than not in places that are very diverse, but it wouldn't be good. And then that's when things go to shit.
Well, I agree. It just depends entirely on how the place of Russia and China in this in their plans, because as far as I can tell, they've got people completely hoodwinked. And I know people, there'll be some people like, yeah, he's building the wall, but I mean, I could go into that. Like 24 miles of repairs here is not building the wall. Obama built more wall. I'm not going to go into that. Like we covered that in the beginning, right? Like either get it or you don't. But what the fuck was it?
We're going to talk about Chinese ownership of some of our politicians versus like what are the Russians going to do? Like, what are they going to see as their interests in an American Civil War kind of thing?
That, but it's just like, what's the end game? What is the enforcement nation? Is it? I guess it's the United States is still spending ever and ever more on its military, so it seems like we are still the imperial power arm of the evil thing, but everything else is getting hollowed out intentionally. So it's kind of like, it's pretty obvious that they don't really like us.
So you're wondering, how close to, or how much attention do we want to draw with the text algorithms?
Well, the question is, do they fear China more than they hate us?
No. They don't know enough to fear China. They're too dumb to have figured that out.
I don't think they're like, this is the thing. I think they're fucking geniuses, because I just see everyone, all the smartest IQ people. Everyone falls for it. Everyone's falling for it.
Okay, but long term, what's the word?
There's like 20,000 of us. There's so few of us. What?
Not the same thing.
I can't. It's just so quiet.
Being good at hoodwinking people is not the same as being farsighted, by any stretch. I guess it comes down to a question of how much correlation there is between the two.
I would agree if it weren't the same families for like 500 years, or 200 to 500 years.
We're talking the really high up shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the big boys. They're the ones who quite obviously have been able to engineer entire nations in question to come into existence.
I have to agree that they're very smart. And I don't know what their intentions are, other than being vaguely satanic. I assume that they don't see themselves as being, I don't know, patsies for a war in heaven, but maybe they do. I always figured that with Luciferians, they figure they're doing it for themselves, and then they're just using like all this evil shit for their own ends, but they're being hoodwinked. But I don't know. I don't understand the psychology of what you would not call melon heads, but I would. Okay. Not that kind. Other than a couple of things that I've guessed at.
More than we deserve.
But I don't understand the religious sentiments of such a person. I think that's what matters at that level. Who was it that said everybody's got a philosophy of life?
I don't know.
Whether they know it or not.
People are animals.
Who? Yoko Ono?
No, I was, forget it. Yeah. It's just sort of like, I mean, obviously they're super fucked up, but I don't know, it's possible that it really is just Zionism to the top with some horrible, even more horrible shit added in. Or it could be anything, nobody fucking knows. And if you do, please contact me. Yeah, we need to find out what the race books are.
Like, everybody has their book lists, but I don't know what the best ones are, actually. I know what my favorites are, but there's all kinds of shit I don't know about stuff at that level. Although I heard one recently. Oh yeah, it was Owen Benjamin. He just finished making some really banal point about the moon, which it was in the beginning of that movie or video that Ophiuchus posted in my comments like yesterday. He was starting to get into the JFK shit, and he said JFK and this other guy, whose name I don't remember at the moment. They were ahead of their time talking about this shit. But also, I was already kind of spent on him because I was like, with the moon thing, I was like, that's one of the dumber arguments I've ever heard.
Well, he doesn't even believe in the quote Jew shit.
What, Owen Benjamin?
Yeah.
I thought he liked his moon stuff at least.
No, I did, but he won't even admit the power of design. Well, he might. I haven't watched enough Owen Benjamin, and I'm not going to. But I've never seen him admit that there's like a Zionist, cabal. But I have seen him repeatedly make fun of Jew haters, which doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
Look, he's not very smart. He's just not. I don't hate him, although I hate his face. He's got such a fucking punchable face. But, shit. I'm in some kind of weird state of mind here, bro. But he does, like his weird teeth and his, I don't know. He was going to marry Christina Ricci?
I don't even know who that is.
She was an actor who was, never mind. It's the whole, don't worry about it. We don't need to get, that's drama shit.
Okay, it's already outside, gone from my head.
Okay. Well, but it's just like, at some point he was deep in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Sure, I'll just bring up that thing really quick and figure out what that book he cited was called. Because he was talking about what was going on in the federal government, which I presume is more like a detailed take of deep state type stuff coming out of World War II. Saying his praise for the book was that it was decades ahead of its time. And
okay.
It sounded legit, even coming like out of this really stupid argument for the space, the moon thing.
The thing about the moon thing is the fact that we went not one time, but so many times. Supposedly, that's sort of, that's not any kind of proof. It's just like faking it once is, of course, that doesn't mean they didn't fake it the first time, right? Let's not talk about the moon landing. If it's fake or it's not fake, who cares? Who fucking cares?
But I enjoy opining about things that I don't care about.
Let's send 5G rockets into space to irradiate the testicles of the American populace. That's what I care about. That's what space is for. It's for irradiating people's testicles. It's not for going to the moon. The moon doesn't even exist, bro. There's no moon. It's the firmament, bro. It's just water up there.
That would explain why my sperm count is 0. Of course.
I've had asteroids talk to me and they tell me about space. Have you seen any UFOs lately? I see UFOs every day. I'll stop because somebody will take me seriously. I'm not being serious, people.
Oh, wait. You weren't being
Shout out to Cleve Blakemore. If Cleve Blakemore is listening to this, I'm not going to use your facsimile anymore. I'm not going to use your image. Was it actually him?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, God. Big fella. Big fella. Come on.
It's not the first time he's ever commented there. The other time he showed up to tell me Heaviside was right and I was wrong about something. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't give you, I don't give credit for effort. Heaviside is absolutely right here.
Actually mentally ill.
I met my hero and he hated me. Twice.
It's threat level magenta. It's threat level magenta. It's time to burn your heroes.
Now that there is pretty dark. That's the Green Gables story, bro.
The Anne of Green Gables story? What'd you say? It's not that.
I said that's the Cain and Abel story, bro.
Oh. Sometimes you do have to burn your heroes, though. I'm not saying, Cleve, we're not going to burn you alive, bro. But, maybe some certain politicians, you're like, you're actually an enemy, and I'd like people to say enemy instead of actually 23-dimensional underwater Bakumon. Like that kind of thing, But, whatever.
40 Pokemon cards.
But burning actual heroes, yeah, that's bad shit. So it's like the realization your hero is not a hero, accurate perception of reality, blah, blah, blah. It's like kids' movies or something.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the Joe Rogan shit. You got any idea why everybody's after that guy? It's like a coordinated thing, and Alex Jones is connected to the military intelligence, which, for lack of a better term, a faction of the deep state.
Alex Jones is so spent. Alex Jones is just trying to get attention. He's not even able to fake being that angry in his videos. He's calling Joe a slippery snake, a sneaky snake. He's going, Joe's a sneaky snake. Oh, you're gonna get up on me, Joe. You're a sneaky snake. I mean, he's doing everything he can to get attention, and it's conscious. In the past, he was actually, you could call insane, or really it was just like dopamine, hyperdrive, overdrive, whatever, because he was power tripping in a it was obviously a pleasurable way because he was actually having massive effects in the election with Hillary Clinton and blah blah blah, right? He was on top of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And now he's just nothing. He's just shit. He's just a whore. He's just a whore for Trump and Roger Stone and the Zionists, and he knows it, and he's really bothered by it. He has so little power now. He can't say anything he wants. Go to InfoWars right now. What they're talking about, the spending bill, it's glorious. They can't say shit. They've lost any kind of power.
So you're saying that he basically sold his soul to the apparatus that made him powerful in the 2016?
He sold his soul to, basically, I guess they said, we'll keep you going, because he realized that without social media, nobody will watch him, because it's an attention-based business of his. It's a personality-based business.
Maybe you feel like he threw in with the wrong side when before he was on the other side?
Well, he's had these little moments. I haven't watched him very much, but he's had these little moments of basically sniping at the people you could say control him, right? Like mentioning Zionism every now and then and stuff. And then quickly, it's just kind of the look on his face. That's my reading of it. I don't know. But you look okay, I've followed Alex Jones for a really long time. So we should actually kind of get into this a bit more. There was Kurt Nemo, Anthony Gucciardi. Before that, there was Melissa Melton, Aaron Dykes. Jakar Jackson, Joe Biggs. There's been so many people that have been run through the InfoWars pump and dump.
Are these reporters for InfoWars or what?
Yeah, these are reporters. Now he has Owen Benjamin, of course. No one seems to be sticking around. Owen's been talking to Adam Green, even showed up, and he was, just completely irate, unable to function on a logical level, just simple, bro, why do you keep talking about Jews? Wait, what you're saying may have some merit, but why do you keep talking about Jews, bro? Just ridiculous levels of, hey, just listen to him when he's talking about documents released by, Senator Graham or whatever, talking about the 9/11 commission, whatever, hey, it implicates Saudi Arabia and Israel, blah, 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 all that crap, But yeah, if you... Obviously, Alex is an egomaniac, and I think that's a big part of why people have just been fucking kicked out. But at this point, there's no talent left. You have whores like Millie Weaver. You have just trash.
Is Paul Joseph Watson still around?
Paul Joseph Watson is the only person with talent still working for InfoWars. I mean, besides Alex himself, obviously.
Paul actually answers... what you've told me with Owen Benjamin being on with him actually answers my question about why everybody was going after Joe Rogan at the same time. Because I was wondering, you got Vox Day, Owen Benjamin, Alex Jones, and Andrew Anglin all going at him at the same time.
Yeah.
And if three of them are connected at the hip, then like Andrew Anglin could just be explained as an anomaly, like, you know, jumping on at the same time.
Right, yeah.
But before I was just thinking, like, all these guys deciding to go after him at the same time, I was like, what's the connection there?
Well,
So now I get,
okay.
it was confusing. When you're ignorant, a lot of things are confusing.
Well, it's, you know, I've been extremely ignorant of this stuff for a while now. I was as plugged in as anyone could be 2016, literally. I mean, I was on everything, you know? And another thing, people want to, you guys realize I did more to get Trump elected than anyone in this sphere, right? Like, I actually was taking down people. And I don't want to get into that. I had the FBI calling me, all this other shit. It's crazy.
Nah, man.
I was actually doing stuff. So I just want to say that I actually had a measurable fucking effect taking down cucks before that was not possible. So anybody who wants to dispute my quote loyalty, I was a top level internet berserker of sorts. So what does it tell you when the berserker class is going against Trump? But that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to try not to say anything else. I just had to say one last little thing. But yeah, Alex Jones is fucked, man. He's done. He's going to be.
I'm really tempted to rib you.
Rib me.
But I said that you're a traitor for not trusting the plan.
Oh, fuck. You're so right. You're so right. Eagles over Washington, 11 o'clock high, boom. Trust the plan, Patriots.
Oh,
Trust the plan, Patriots.
That's too beautiful not to be true, though. Eagles over Washington.
Yep, they're gonna bomb Congress. if you look into like some of the things Q's actually said, that like how you could take it, it's so stupid. But thankfully Q's dead. Q is dead. No need to talk about it at all.
Is it? I didn't follow it enough. Like when you were talking about Alex Jones changing, just so I should go over and look. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to tell the difference because I never watched him before.
Right.
I watched half of a segment where some guy was talking about like poisonous gases coming in off the ocean, and this being a real problem, and the coastal authorities are evacuating everybody. And I was just like, I don't believe you. So I guess I'm done now.
Yeah. I watched a lot during 2016. I first ran into Alex when I was like in the 5th grade. Didn't watch very much, but did get sort of awoken a little bit by he was much better back then. People, like Alex Jones in Waking Life, you know, he's talking about sort of a more accurate paradigm of, but he's always been a whore, right? I mean, but it's old Alex so much better than new Alex.
He had like a couple of Jewish girlfriends or something, but that's all I know about him.
He's married to a Jew right now. His last wife was Jewish. It's just what he does. I mean, he's definitely a Zionist. He's come out and said he's a Zionist.
Oh yeah, were you the one that was trying to show me that video of the guy? No, that might have been Fox.
Fox is right about some things. I'll say some things, Fox. If you weren't so close-minded and such an asshole, you're actually saying some things that a lot of people in this sphere do need to listen to. But hey, I'm not going to back you up, you fucktard.
You have such a great way of building bridges.
I know, but I'll be honest, it's just honesty. It's just such a novel concept. We're just going to be honest when it's honest and not honest. And if we need to manipulate, we manipulate. But that's not what we do in this sphere. Other places maybe, but try not to manipulate people that you want to be honest with. And even if they hate you, I mean, if they hate you, then move on somewhere else. Fuck, it's like there's a gabillion people in the world. You don't need to whore yourself out.
Okay, I got a little bit confused trying to follow along there, but I enjoyed the ride.
what the hell's going on? What were we even talking about?
We were talking about Alex Jones and Rogan. Basically, internet celebrity gossip.
Right. I wonder.
Site except on the internet.
It could be a couple things. It could be giving attention to Joe Rogan, like but he's already got such a big audience. I don't know if it's that. It's probably leeching off of his audience. Trying to draw people in, get more clicks. That's almost certainly why Vox Day did it. And I've said it, I think, in a more private chat with you, not a podcast. But, Vox Day, by all measures, doesn't make very much money. People need to take that into account when you see him starting drama. I agree very much with many of the things he said about Jordan B. Peterson. And I don't like Rogan, obviously. But I do like the Rhonda Patrick podcast. I do like these other things. It's so sad it's still like the best thing to watch, and it's this cuck Joe Rogan. I mean, it's not the best thing to watch ever, but it's like the best podcast. I mean, it's better than this,
Yeah, that part's true. In fact, the more I think about it, he kind of pioneered the format that became the right stuff. They took their spin on it, and then everybody else basically did the same thing.
I've never watched them.
One time on The Daily Show, they were playing a clip from like some NPR show where they tried to copy the format. Just have some buds talking about things in the news and joking with each other, and it was painful.
Yeah.
But the more... Like, Joe Rogan was kind of the first one to do that, where he would just bring people on and shoot the shit. Like, so, I hear you have this thing, this defooing. What's that all about?
Well, let me tell you, Joe. So little of my content has been about defooing. These people, they keep saying defooing, Joe. I'm not talking very much about this. I'm a philosopher. I like Stefan Molyneux, but he's bullshitting there.
Yeah. So hang on, are you saying that sometimes people can be a little bit bullshitters and not be complete bullshitters?
Oh, like me, I guess. I don't bullshit very much, but yeah, that is true.
So, I guess what I'm getting at there is maybe don't purity spiral every time somebody tells you to cut all ties with your close family.
Yeah, I mean it's a close. I mean it's a really easy metric. Like
actually do purity spiral though, dear listeners.
Oh
so
no!
Cut ties with your family and friends. Like actually purity spiral and say no there. So
yeah.
Like, no, I'm cutting ties with you. But thank you.
If someone tells you to read this document they wrote, and if they say you don't need to read any other books to reach success, just read that and don't read anything else. I'm self-aware.
This is all the dank info you need. You need nothing else.
Ah, shit.
I still like the Guto dub.
I took it down for a reason. Nope, I got a lot of criticism. It bothered, I'll be honest, it bothered me a lot. I actually put some heart and soul into making that. So it did hurt me. But that's fair, because if that means it wasn't ready, it wasn't good enough. And right now I'm in this weird, I keep talking about me, but hey, right. So people know I'm intentionally trying to black pill to come to certain weird ass philosophical conclusions. And smoking cigars and drinking for their own pleasure has nothing at all to do with it. So
yeah, I just assumed that was part of not.
It's just research.
What is it? It's just that's the hedonism, but hedonism is not a necessary part of black pilling. It's just something that you do when you've given up on trying to do constructive things, right? Am I getting that?
Yeah, I mean it's just whatever excuse we need, yeah.
It's like if I were black pilling as hard as possible, I would just be out behind Lizard King's house all the time instead of some of the time. Because, that's just where I would be if I relaxed. I just feel very secure now out behind his house.
I don't get it. Are you like smoking crack behind his house? I mean, what?
Well, that's what you have to do, when it's cold out, just to keep going, Meth works really well too.
We're truckers now.
We could become truckers.
I'd rather die in a ditch.
Take hedonism. The moving tree stump community. We could be like gypsies.
Hey, let's start our own Burning Man, except it'll just be like not drugs and not music. Just sit in a circle.
Smoke tobacco.
Oh yes, tobacco is.
People on the internet.
Tobacco is actually the red pill. I've said this to you, but some people dispute this. But I mean, General Patton, Orson Welles, Groucho Marx, many others.
Winston Churchill,
who was a piece of shit, but many others. Tobacco is the red pill. Fidel Castro, National Bolshevism is the next thing.
Okay. Wait, I didn't know they were Bolsheviks down there.
They're not. I'm just. It's not exactly associative horizon. I'm just kind of going all over the place.
Okay. So we're not into drugs except the legal ones that are socially prescribed. Prescribed, right?
Right.
You're allowed to have alcohol and tobacco. I actually don't think that those are bad choices.
If normal people don't like it, then why would I like it?
Don't normal people like weed?
Actually, weed is mainstream now. So let's all become hipsters. We're just hipsters. We don't do weed because we're hipsters. It's mainstream, and we don't want to be a cookie cutter. I don't want to be a cookie cutter. Why would you smoke weed? Everybody smokes weed.
So we're like meta hipsters.
Yeah.
Got it. What's the real red pill?
My Little Pony.
Blood.
Blood. It is red. We talk about it so much. I might have to order some blood. I don't know.
No, it's not the same if you pay for it. It ruins the distilled life essence of the thing.
Right.
Where the person was giving it freely, like a bail-in kind of thing.
You shouldn't pay for it. They should pay for it.
Exactly. Thank you.
With their pain.
Bonus points, with deformation.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to find this. We can keep talking because for some reason I can actually multitask better when my brain is actually completely fried. I had some, like I said, some very good conversations with people in private messages on the Discord. People who are willing to have conversations with me. Generally not being willing to have conversations with people is like 12-year-old shit. And maybe I'm not actually much of an asshole if you will just respond to me. But anyway, that's just a side issue. It's a side issue. Nothing to do with what maybe did or did not happen. Okay. Need to find the thing.
Okay. Your multitasking slipped for a second there.
This is the actually mentally ill, but also more than... It's like meta-mental.
So you're super sane, is what you're saying.
Right. I mean, you see, your brain is just an antenna. You need to align yourself with the 7 chakras of the universe. You need to open your heart chakra.
Oh, I have like 14 chakras.
We have to transcend the realm of hungry ghosts and move to the whatever the other one is.
Yeah, that Hindu shit.
Yeah. Fuck, where is this? We just have to keep...
I was representing the universe right there, and you just ruined it.
Oh.
So, just send me some blood. As recompense.
I would love
for losing my...
Like some blood Funyuns or something, like blood-flavored Funyuns.
Oh, Lord. It's fun if you do owe somebody some blood, just tell them that you'll have your people send some of their blood to their people. That's how Melons do it.
Damn, I wish I could read.
It's not all it's cracked up. You get all these ideas.
If I can't just respond with only emojis, there's no... I mean, how can I communicate?
I've been running into that problem. People that got like dumb phones, and I want to send them all these great emojis and GIFs. Oh, hang on, you want to hear something horrible?
Always.
The guy who invented GIFs calls them GIFs.
Oh, no.
Like the peanut butter.
And peanut butter makes you gay.
And that's why you don't meet your heroes, because then you have to burn them, as we discussed before.
Eat your heroes. Take their blood. Drink the blood of your heroes.
We've got a new religion coming in here. This is nice. Alright, so we have tobacco and drink the blood of your heroes.
That is like Super Bailet. That's probably like super powered. You become Demon God Bailet. Sacrifice your heroes and drink their blood to the castle in the sky. Not that. That sounds like it's related to the Miyazaki movie. It's not. That's a nice movie. It's a nice movie.
Okay, well, let's not ruin that.
Yeah, let's really not.
No, I shouldn't joke about anybody in particular with that kind of thing. So, serious time. What the hell were we talking about? There's something before the chakras.
It was
a place to go.
Oh, I don't know then. I didn't know there was a place.
It's Detroit. That's where I want to be.
You want to sing songs? Let's do karaoke.
No, thank you. we could sing metal songs. Oh, that would be a good life decision that I'd want to put on the internet. Did you find the thing that you're looking for?
I found out that I actually did not record it. I'm going back through a chat in question to find what the fuck it was. Okay. This isn't exactly it. You know, I don't want to spoil the thing that I've been working on. It's not revolutionary in any way. I did actually write 2 posts that I was going to post until you said, let's wait. And that was because I wanted, obviously, more clicks. Because of the drama, I'd get more clicks, right? But I'll do what you want, obviously. So.
Thank you.
Although it won't really matter in 4 days.
But what? I think it's because you like me.
Yes, I'm actually capable of putting up with displeasure if I like people.
Weird.
That is weird for a disagreeable person. It's a hard hump to get over.
So we talked about the effeminacy thing, right? The definition of the old definition of effeminacy, that was like the unwillingness to put up with discomfort in order to do the right thing. Yeah, I remember that being on a podcast, because you immediately said, okay, well, everybody's effeminate then.
Right. It's like, okay, I agree with you 95%, but isn't it also true that fuck you is a very masculine thing?
Well, sure. It's a question of whether it's a right thing in any particular circumstance, and sometimes it is the right thing. Sometimes it's the right thing because it's masculine, but I'm going to guess that's a rare thing. Like, when is that the distinguishing factor between the right and wrong thing?
Right, and that's the problem with game, I guess, but you forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody has yet done a proper spurg out on the morality of game.
It's almost self-evident, you know?
I don't think that it is, because I remember it coming up a lot on Alpha Game, back when that was a blog.
Wow.
People were always asking Vox, like, so how do you square, you know, this game stuff with Christian morality? And he would punt and say, it's a tool. It's just something important to understand about. And you know, I don't think that's a good answer to that question.
Look, I have so little respect for Vox Day. You know how he responded to the damn signing of the bill? He questioned if it was even signed. As if the White House ever says the bill has been signed, and then you can say, oh, what if he actually signed it?
What if it was a fake out?
God damn, that's so. But that
Maybe I should get you ranting. That would make it a very easy podcast for me.
Well, I'm kind of ranting already. I'm not letting you talk enough, to be honest.
Yeah, but it would be so easy to get you triggered. No, I
You
don't
would
think
be.
to talk about
You want to get me triggered? Please get me triggered. I'm
Okay.
triggered.
I did want to ask though, before doing that. Do you have anything to do next? Because I have this idea that I'm going to do effort posts on Sunday mornings now.
Ah,
So that's a really good time slot for that. Do you have any requests?
request for you to write posts.
For, like movie analysis type effort posts. Like my plan for tomorrow is to try to do the first like shit posty part of part 2 of Apocalypse Now.
All right. Well, since you already did Nazca, I agree enough with Arakawa that it would be probably best, just because of the mental retooling and memory, to watch Castle in the Sky sooner rather than later, because it'll be easier, you know. So I'd say that, but I don't really care as long as they're good, which is a tall order, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, it's not bad. If the problem really is for the there's a couple of things that are necessary to write posts like that. The first and most important is time constraints, because those things take hella time. Like, people don't understand that Nazca I put out a lot quicker than usual, and it still took me like 6 hours. I worked on that all day in between other stuff, and I missed a couple of things. But I want to do it because that's the thing that gives me a sense of meaning in life, is being really good at that.
That's fair.
So
It's the process, not the outcome. Do you ever wonder why you do what you do with the writing?
not anymore. I always figure it's just compulsion at this point.
Okay.
I enjoy the process. Actually, the part that I enjoy is the thinking about it ahead of time, like the series of insights. I don't enjoy the process of writing it down so much, but I do. Well, I suppose I do because I'm better at it now. Like my shit before was a lot more wild than it is now.
Right. Which is interesting. I'm sorry to cut in, but you talked long ago about the ingenious response and coming up with these connections in and of themselves will basically give you dopamine. You can become addicted to that. But it's weird because now you've become in some ways more focused and, to put it frankly, less crazy. Because you said some crazy things before. But at the same time, you have not devolved into doing it for status, like for responses and stuff. Because if that was the case, there would be much more drama, just because that's what gets people clicking and commenting and all that.
Yeah. And my attempts to use drama to get Ophiuchus doing his own posts or his YouTube or whatever completely failed because he's too melon boon to fall for that shit.
Is he really? Is he really melon boon now? He used to be. I'm sorry, I have to say this. Ophiuchus, or Ophiuchus, however you say it. Bro, you used to be like the smartest guy on the blog. What changed? I still like your stuff, don't get me wrong. But maybe read your old posts, because you used to be like on fucking fire. I don't know what changed, but I'll just say that. It's not a criticism, because he's still like one of the better commenters. But I just wanted to say that, because I don't think he gets any kind of feedback like that. So it's not a mean thing, it's just feedback.
You're saying he used to be the best, and now he's still nearly the best.
Yeah. And I don't know if he thinks it's an advancement. I could be wrong. I don't know. But used to, it was like really nice dank melon shit. And now it doesn't really strike me as melon shit. But that's the effect of the blog. Like, you read my writing now, it's not anywhere near as, quote, melon as it used to be. Although the time on the blog has changed me much less than many other people. Surprisingly, maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to think back now. What kind of stuff did So let's go back no, he was around 4 years ago. Let's go back 3 years.
Okay.
What kinds of stuff were you talking about then? What kinds of stuff was he talking about then? Because maybe it's a topic-specific thing.
Well, I'd actually think things out. When I didn't respond with just music, which is quite an abstraction. You know, it's like, how would anybody figure out what the fuck I mean by this?
I usually didn't, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah. But I'd be really just straight to the point, kind of like pre-fight failure level of focused thought. Like, it's quite obvious that many people, and maybe this is a Spurg thing, I don't know, but many people don't do so well when you give them a bullet point list of 30 things. They don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't like that, apparently, which, you know, I guess it makes sense. But I liked it because I read all the books, and so I'd appreciate if someone just gave me the bullet points, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to see the value when they're just like, oh, here's 50 bullet points, most important bullet points.
That's no fun to read, and who's to say if this person even knows what they're fucking talking about?
Right, which is why it would have been better just to, like, Bice post, which I would never do, but, you know.
Oh, are you talking about your comments, or...
Shit, I guess. I think you should do. Ideally, you would do both. You would draw people in, get them sort of like.
Here's what you do. Here's your checklist.
You'd sort of do what the Bakadesio blog does. I presume still does. Is you give the story, and you know, you do all the stuffles, the Mick persuasions. Why does he keep saying Mick? And you then give the summary at the end, and people actually read the summary.
Isn't that like the reverse of the way you're supposed to do it, with the big point in the beginning, and then, you know, expand from there?
Well, if it's just one big point, I know you're always supposed to repeat it at least 3 times, maybe 20 times, and maybe somebody will remember it.
It's been a while since I worked on the craft of writing. Maybe I need to make a point of that. Back in the day, and I'm talking like 15 years ago, I would read books about how to do better at writing. Just, you know, just as an interest. Mostly for... I never like read how to do fiction writing, but just for some reason I was into like grammar and shit back then. You know, back in the real Spurgy days. And I kind of lost that knowledge. I don't even know if I have that book that I really like, 100 Ways to Improve Your Writing. But I should actually work on that, because I probably need to do some practicing if an Edenism book is ever going to happen. Of just the way that you structure things and, like, tell a story. I shoot from the hip, man. It's all gut. I'm just this wild genius. They can't be contained with the purity of my insights flowing onto the page, as if coming from God himself, just straight into my pen. So I have that problem.
This is
I'm sorry, I said too much.
No, a dog just showed up, but I heard everything you said, but I'm a little distracted, and it's running off. Goodbye, Coco. Oh, what a little sweetie. Okay, I agree with that. As far as the Edenism book goes, I don't remember what it was, but there was some project that was proposed during one of our talks, or if we want to be fancy, discussions, and it sounded more important.
Round tables.
It sounded more important than the Edenism book.
Was it the Pyrrhic Cycle Baalot myth stuff?
Yeah, that was it. Like, actually writing a Baalot myth book and really going into detail and getting a bunch of examples and kind of doing the Cal Newport one big idea book formula.
Hey, I'm already kind of doing that by expanding on that shit. Like today, did you see the one where I posted that movie scene? That was pretty good.
The images weren't loading, so I didn't read it yet.
Oh. Yeah, that was a big mistake, but it was also very easy, so that's why I did that. But that's an important part. That's going to come in at about the time when the institutions are very corrupted, but not toward the end when the Baalot myth thing is actually happening. Let me see if I can do this on the fly, because I was thinking about it earlier. So you're going to have a period when the institution begins to predominate, and then they're going to start punishing people that are like class traitors. So this is when status considerations begin to override material considerations in terms of economics, right?
Like directly.
Yeah, and then they're going to have a period where it becomes a formal system where everybody's got to have compromat on each other, because you aren't just, protecting like the one or two odd people that are committing crimes in your midst, in your inner circle. Then there's going to be a period where that becomes necessary just to do like business in that circle. So then you're going to have like the skull and bones type of shit, where everybody's got to have compromat on everybody. And then eventually, somehow that turns into the bailiff myth. I had that straight in my head a minute ago, but it's gone.
What?
Where like the only thing, because society's collapsing at that point,
right?
Because of the economics of the thing. So the only way out for the elites is to sacrifice everybody and everything for their own, for them to escape in part of the bubble. So that'd be your no-stick type UFO taking off to a different world kind of thing.
Right, so this is the thing you talked about with Bone Flower in the thing I annotated on True Ataraxia Radio. You can find it there if you don't want to listen to it for 30 minutes and read it in 5 minutes. Anyway, that's a plug. But I agree completely, and you see this, at least the first stages of this, for example, in Hollywood. This has been going on a long time, but people now care more about the status than actually making the money. Obviously, if you're super high status, right, you'll make the money too. But most actors, most of the musicians especially, they're all in it for the status. There's not very much money actually that they get to keep. So that's one thing. The second thing is you're seeing this with what the 4chaners, and I haven't been on 4chan a long time, but obviously they still have reach in the memes and stuff. What they call the wagies, right? So this is the pathetic middle-class striver who has the expensive rented BMW and all this stuff. Like they're living in fantasy land. I had some other point, but I forgot it, so there you go.
Okay. But yeah, what I was saying was connected to what you annotated, the transcripts of the material versus status cycle of economics in the, where you have a group that learns how to do trust, and then that makes them able to create capital, and then they start to be concerned about trust and status in that situation. Right. Then status starts to outweigh the trust, and then they eventually lose the ability to trust, and then they lose the ability to recreate that capital that they have.
Yeah.
Very sad, many such cases.
Very true. I'm a big fan of the Dick Cavett show from the 1960s, 70s. I've watched not all the best episodes, but to cut it short, I might do a post on it, but to cut it short, Marlon Brando, he was on, and he talked about acting is survival, and of course he talked about, well, when your boss says this, you're an actor, you have to let his bullshit ideas, blah, 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 and all that. But he was talking about, like, this is why I'm so good. I mean, this is survival. And so that's sort of how it starts out.
Because that doesn't make sense to me. What does he mean it's survival? Like competing in that industry, you're just doing it to survive, or what?
Well, he means it in that sense, but he said everybody's playing a character all the time, whether or not they know it.
He's not entirely wrong about that. That's a consequence of consciousness.
Right.
If you're able to reflect on your awareness at all, then that's going to change the thing. And since humans are always very concerned about the way other people perceive them, then there's going to be a lot of efforts at thinking about what they're thinking about you. And then that's going to change your behavior too. And that's, when you do that, then you aren't genuine anymore. You're shifted.
Yeah.
And you can make the argument, well, just be yourself. But I think this is one thing where the game blogs have it absolutely right. Is, you don't want to just be yourself, but you also don't want to be completely fake. What you want to do is actually become the thing that would be good. Mm-hmm. And you just do that in steps.
Be your best self, as all the McBooks would say.
Yeah, but seeing as you're never going to get there, you do have to shift some. You just got to make sure it's an amount that's not going to make you go fucking crazy.
Right.
Everybody does the thing where they act different around different people. And that's normal and okay as long as it's not too much. And it is off-putting if you're disingenuous.
This is true. I have thought before about how it would increase my effectiveness if I were to purposely tailor myself to be the most, whatever you'd call it, socially adaptive in each situation. I just can't do it. It's a personality thing. I guess it's an ego thing. Maybe, I don't know. Although I don't know.
It's mostly disagreeableness, where you would rather, like, you have a strong disposition preferring to just disassociate with the person that you'd have to act around. Versus an agreeable person, I think, is more likely to actually make that.
Right.
We could call that a sacrifice, but that's not exactly right. They're more likely to compromise their personality.
This brings something else up, and it makes me think of like the difference between a Marlon Brando and our favorite person, Orson Welles. So Orson, when he talked about acting, finally the deep dive on Orson Welles is paying off. But when he talked about acting, he said all he does is he strips things away from himself that are already there until the only things that are left are the things that are in the character. Whereas somebody like a Marlon Brando seems to more, I don't know how to describe it, but
I only know him from Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
He was in Godfather 2, though, wasn't he?
He was in the first and shit, it's been so long since I've seen the second. Fuck. I don't know. I'm sure he's in the second at some point. Maybe.
I liked him in Apocalypse Now. Oh, shoot, you know what? I also saw him in On the Waterfront.
Yeah.
Very, very different roles.
Right.
But he's got a kind of a weird attitude, doesn't he?
I think he's mentally ill. Like, truly.
Which kind of mental illness are we talking?
I don't know. There's just there's a threateningness to Brando that just strikes you immediately, and it's not a melon thing because obviously Orson Welles is just as much of a melon. It's I don't know, man. This is probably worth getting into.
Well, he has the head shape of what that character you guy Vaughn or whatever it was. He has the head shape of a criminal, according to that guy. The strongly on-bomb, low brain case. That's wider at the bottom. So you can take that for what it's worth.
I don't know. It's just this thought that his acting method is different makes me... I started talking before I had the idea formulated, which is a problem with McMellinson's...
He actually hates Chuck Hurts. And the person he walks around as, that's the act.
Huh.
I'm lying. I don't think that's true. Okay. Back to where we have to go back before Marlon Brando. There's something important.
All right, can we take a break? I need to piss and get more booze.
Yeah, sure. I think that's something to talk about.
Hello?
Figured out something that I want to talk about.
Okay, I just have to text someone.
Right.
And while I'm texting, I'll say something as well. This is being recorded with a dynamic microphone, and I'm facing away from an extremely noisy source, but the cardioid polar pattern should reject the noise, and it should, be much better than... Theoretically, this could actually sound quite good. It's being run through a preamp and everything. Wow. Because that's how we have to do it now. Because just so people know, some good podcasts were actually destroyed because of audio problems, like serious audio problems. So, but that's not what I wanted to say. Really quickly, I want to talk about insanity.
All right. That's funny. Mine's going to be about not insanity, but it's going to sound like insanity.
Okay.
How do I get you off on a rant on insanity?
I just got thrown off. My mom's texting me. Okay.
All right.
So this is a good transition from acting. A thought I didn't say during the last little discussion bit was that, it's obvious that many actors are mentally ill, but like an Orson Welles doesn't strike me as mentally ill. Marlon Brando does. Many actors do. But this is not very much to do with this next thing. I shouldn't have really said it, but... Okay, so... God, I shouldn't spoil my own post, because I've been working on this a long time.
Oh.
Shit.
Do it. Spoil your post.
Okay, well, if you made it this far, I guess you deserve it, listener. Well, the only response to accurately viewing reality is to live in a state of terror almost beyond comprehension. That is sanity. The sanity of reaching as close to base reality as a human can get is the terror of your mortality and assuming no God, the realization of the destruction of absolutely everything upon your death, right?
Yes.
And so I say sane insane is how I describe a normie, or really anyone now except this very narrow band of... And you see, the thing is, you can only reach base reality a very short amount of time. And this is the idea. This is the idea I wanted to get to right here. And it's that just like, mentally ill people who recover, the brain can come back like a muscle. Those that become insane, I have this written down, may come back saner than all other men as compensation. This is, of course, rare in these cases. But in the case of reaching sanity, which is base reality, your brain repulses as strong as it possibly can. Every resource is given towards strengthening insanity, which is, functionality. This is actually the power of the melon. Bale it sold separately.
Okay, so if we were to speak in materialistic terms, we would say that being normal is adaptive insanity. But if we were going to use a different value system, then we might say that it's like moral. Well, no, moral insanity has the wrong connotation. I'm trying to imagine what you would call it in 1000 AD to say, like, you should be a little bit insane because it's good for you. Like, it's the right way to be. It makes you happier. It makes you, a better person.
Well, I came to the conclusion that the most functional... It's not the most functional, but this is the one that I have a draw towards, is that one should be both overwhelmed with awe at the beauty and the horror of the world. Now, that's the actual reality, but you have a negativity bias, which makes sense because no matter how long you live, death is coming and all that. So this is very close to the truth, but the horror is simply reined in enough for you to actually live your life. And so that's my new mindset idea, is to basically, take it all in, take the horror and the beauty in. And the only thing you do is just limit the horror so that you literally can, like, leave your room. Because, like I said, if you actually reach this base reality, it's just fuck. It's just this overwhelming terror.
That's like Cthulhu type stuff.
It's just cosmic horror, like, wow, existence is just, it's this, that,
We did the talk about dark fantasy being the most honest form of art, right?
That didn't make it into a podcast, but yes, we did.
Ah, shit.
So much has been lost. The best stuff has been lost, actually.
And you have to send in extra blood to get the secret tapes.
Right, you have to sign up to my $5 Gumroad account, $5 a month. You'll get Hide Wars once a month, MM Wars, I don't know what you call it. Thalwars. You get Thalwars once a month. And that's the real dank discussion. It's me in a car with aioli on a phone, and you can't really hear what he's saying, but I'm just yelling at the top of my lungs, driving 90 miles an hour on the freeway, smoking a cigar, while I curse at people and cut them off, and I'm eating fast food.
Well, and I'm injecting bleach directly into my sciatic nerve.
That's pretty metal.
You do what you got to do to get those gains, bro. If that means waking up your Edenic butt.
Did Rich Piana do that? Because if he did it...
I don't know who that is.
Does
that like Zeus?
No, he's like the biggest bodybuilder freak ever. He died pretty recently. I don't want to disrespect Rich.
That's what I want to be, is the largest person there is. I was going to go somewhere important with that, but something dark fantasy. Okay, I was going to ask you about the Greeks. So who do you think had it right? You know, they were all about tragedy back then, so maybe they were closer to this baseline that you're talking about. Because if all of your dramas are tragedies, then you're thinking about death. That's what a tragedy is kind of standing in for. Is like, all this shit happens, and then the end is bad.
Okay.
So there's your dramatic arc. That's why Dante's thing was a comedy. In contrast, there's all this shit going on, and then the ending is good. So that's the basic Christian story. The Greeks had their thing. Do you think that they had any of the right ideas in respect to like philosophy? So Stoicism, hedonism. What do you think?
Well, obviously, they had it all. And this is the problem: I can't make the choice for anyone. It'd be so hard to get into which one is betterer, which one is more So it depends entirely on your priors. Shit. Okay.
My priors is trust the plan.
Well, I can't even respond to that.
Okay, maybe...
I'm a little stumped. Okay, I talked about this. In either the Maximum Pleasure post on True Ataraxia Radio, or I think it was the Realm of Hungry Ghosts.
Yeah, it was the Realm of Hungry Ghosts.
And so if I can remember my own post, you could just read it. Listener, you could just read my blog. But it's...
This whole thing is just an ad.
When am I going to start mommy blogging?
Oh, I wanted to say I didn't like the Zero H.P. Lovecraft on the Nature of Heaven.
You didn't?
No, I was disappointed.
Why?
Because I think that Zero H.P. Lovecraft is the most exciting and smart guy on the internet right now, but I thought that his thoughts on heaven were not that good.
Well, mine are even darker, you know that.
Well, I don't care whether they're dark or not, I just thought that he didn't have a very good point. I could remember what it was, and then I'd talk about it. But anyway, Realm of Hungry Ghosts, I've got it. 4 main reactions. Forfeit all your pleasure seeking and focus on helping people being a lot to use. This would be maximizing meaningful relationships. Help as many people as you can, despite knowing that you won't be satisfied by it and won't be appreciated, because your religion tells you to. That's number 2. 3 is hedonism. Even understanding that it won't work forever because you'll adapt. And also understanding that it won't satisfy you either. So that actually kind of sucks. So you said you should, if you're a hedonist, properly understanding it, you'll include some asceticism in there so you actually continue enjoying things like fasting.
I can cover 4. So 4 is actually basically a spin-off of 3, and that's the pursuit of power and status for their own sake. Is actually it's actually the highest form of pleasure humans can ever reach. Just because of that's the way it is.
If you were going to talk evolutionary psychology, it's it's the sensation that you're fulfilling all of your biological prime directives.
Yeah, winning is hedonism, basically. I shouldn't say that directly, but yeah, that's why billionaires never stop, is because they realize that the process itself it's just the greatest thing ever, is to continually win. It just feels amazing. You have high status, everybody loves you, or at least you have some kind of, I don't know, you have power. Basically, power is
that you want to be at the top of all possible male dominance hierarchies, possibly symbolized by an eye and a triangle.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's actually maximum pleasure. But these other things are so close, it sort of doesn't really matter. Like, if you were to be a hedonist and then you were also resetting your system with asceticism, I don't know the exact formula, obviously, it would depend on the person, but that would get you close enough. But, winning and domination have, and I'm talking about men here.
There are two kinds of pleasure here, too.
The two kinds of what?
Two kinds of pleasure, the hedonic pleasure and then the dopamine pleasure, because the one is anticipation, that'd be your winning, goal achievement, and status stuff, and then there's the base taste sensations kind of thing. That's the more artsy fartsy kind, really, like enjoying a woman's body just for its own sake.
Well, the thing is that dopamine actually spikes with anticipation. When you get it, nothing really, you do get a little dopamine, you get a lot of testosterone if you're a man, and if you're a woman too. But that comes to the ultimate conclusion, which is that nothing satisfies. Nothing satisfies, nothing satisfies. And that's quite the conclusion, but it's true. It's like, why are we doing this, right? Why did I write the blog? You can figure it out if you think about it. I figured it out, and it's because I write the True Ataraxia blog because I get some kind of meager social connection out of it. That's why.
It's not a bad reason.
So there you go.
That's probably why I was writing about midway through. No, that's why I started blogging, that's for sure. My friend, who's now living over on the other side of the state, but we still keep up, when we were going to the same church and the same youth group, he's the one who started it. He got a blog going back on Zanga, and then he got everybody else to start one, and I just kept with it.
Was that Fool's Gold or what? Fuzzgoo?
That was Fuzzy Goo.
Okay.
Fool's Gold, you could probably still find posts from that username on fightingarts.com. That was back when I was big into that. That was my first real internet community thing that I ever did. It was a fun time too. I learned a shit ton. That was when I learned that the internet is the new institutions. It's the new guilds. Because nobody else anywhere knows anything. Because we've forgotten how to hand out information. Because we want to charge people for their own job training.
Right. Thankfully, there is the internet. Hopefully, it stays open and free as long as it can. Although that's been cracked down on hard as shit. And a certain politician in question has never given a shit about his supporters or in protecting the internet, which is even quite detrimental to his own re-election, which makes me think he's not even going to run. So.
No, he'll run.
He'll run in the primaries, is what I mean.
I want to jump course a second.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about a Steve Saylor blog post. So usually I understand these. Like, Steve Saylor's kind of opaque because he'll talk about, Eskimos and the genetics of Eskimos or something and he'll be like,
It cut out. It's still cutting out. Ah, shit. It cut out for a while.
Shit. Sorry.
So restart the Steve Saylor thing.
Okay. So usually he is opaque because he'll be talking about one thing and he really is talking about another one. Like, he might be talking about Eskimo genetics and asking questions about that when really he's actually talking about Jewish genetics or something. But there's this. Usually, I'm able to at least interpret that, and often enough that I've actually thought about doing a Steve Saylor interpretation blog, where I just explain what he's talking about. Just for the Spurgs out there. But the one that he put up today, the advantages of incel shroud, I can't for the life of me figure out what he's talking about. It's an interesting post too.
Can you send me the link?
Send it to you, then. Yeah, I'll send you a link and then I'll read some of it off. Because I would like you to interpret this, if you can, with your melon magic. And if not, then, maybe somebody out there listening to this will be able to tell me what the hell he's talking about. Or you could just be free associating. I don't know.
Alright, well, I'll try. Like I said to some of the people I talked to.
It starts off and says, we're having a... Well, what?
What?
All I heard was something about the people you talked to.
Oh, I was going to say that I'm not actually that smart anymore.
Yeah, whatever.
I can't focus.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I sent you the thing, and then I was going to summarize it really quick. I just need somebody to explain to me what this is about, because it feels like he's trying to say something, and I don't get it. Something about global cooling and global warming. And then he says, my least favorite dreams tend to be about giant tidal waves, while my favorite dreams are often about cold weather and warm places. And then he gives a couple of examples about how, of a dream he had about a tidal wave that was a nightmare, and a dream about cold weather in a warm place that was just really nice and felt like home. So I'm reading that, and also somebody in the comments said that he also has nightmares about tidal waves, and so does Tex, which makes me wonder what the hell that's all about. Is there some kind of Jungian archetype thing going on in there that makes, because it sounds like something that would be very important.
well, okay, I read it, and he's just expressing his disappointment and very disgust at this idea of, wow, all these fish are going to put their energy into growing instead of reproduction. And he's doing that because it makes him think about modern society and humans, too. They're putting all of their energy into reproduction, perhaps status signal and whatnot, and doing no kind of reproduction, no long-term thinking. So that's what he's trying to express.
Okay, so it's a disgust thing. So he's reacting to that story by saying, I actually like the global cooling thing. So this is like an RK post where you're talking about K selection or just having an emphasis on reproduction and species viability versus having a bunch of grass-eating neats.
I don't really get the second part, why he's talking about his dreams and this stuff. But the first part seems pretty cut and dry. I think
it was a weird one.
I think it's just an extension of that. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
So I can kind of figure why. See, I don't know, because the only association I have with tidal waves and dreams is one time, is a dream that I posted on the blog about, not a tidal wave exactly, but like a meteor-like thing coming into the ocean and tipping the land up like a tectonic plate, which you could probably do a symbolic interpretation of that as being like a paradigm shift or something. Turn the world on its side. But I was expecting a tidal wave in that situation, but maybe my imagination just didn't have the firepower to actually simulate that.
Okay, just...
But Tex has that, if commenters has that, one of Steve's commenters has that, and Steve has it himself. just makes me think that there is some kind of meaning in it.
All right, give me 2 minutes of quiet and focus, and I'll actually read the whole thing.
Okay.
I think, so the temperature thing ties back in with how we started it, talking about the temperatures on the lake. And the rest, it's easy to think has some meaning, but it seems to be just him talking about his dreams. I don't get it.
I wonder if it's a Neanderthal thing, because I know he's talked about that before.
Okay, well,
And it's always,
I don't read enough of him, so he could just be talking, you know?
well, I think about that because of the part where he says that the lower 18 floors of the building was wiped out, leaving him and his survivor guild.
Right,
Which
so,
makes me think
okay.
he's talking about white.
So that goes back to what I said, earlier, and the title is The Advantages of Incel Trout, so I think I already got it.
Something. Can you explain? I'm still not getting it. I feel like I'm close, and I might be able to get it if I went for a walk. But
All right, so the fish...
something about how cold weather increased the tide, so that they were able to be fish, and then they just filled up the tide with incel fish.
Yeah, so it's not, it's not long-term thinking. These fish can't reproduce. And then I said before that, at a deeper level, that's obviously reflecting what's going on in our society with short-term thinking and just stupidity. And then at the end, he says, he talks about the survivorship bias. So that's obviously him being like, well, I know this shit's all coming. Everybody else is retarded. I feel bad about that,
So, I'm going to feel bad when most of my countrymen are going to be wiped out because they're a bunch of incel freaks.
Yeah, when they're a bunch of incel fish.
That's survival guilt.
Yeah, and some people will have survival guilt.
I dare say most of them. That's got to be because a lot of people right now are thinking like Civil War's gonna be great, man. We're gonna be rocking and rolling, and it's gonna be just this fun time where you get to do whatever you want and you get to break and steal stuff. But then they're gonna come out the other side and be like, man, war is hell. Never again. We're gonna tell our kids, and then they're gonna tell their kids, and then they're gonna forget immediately because that's human nature. But yeah, the people coming out of the damn thing are going to be pretty traumatized.
That's pretty much it.
Especially if they have to confront some of their pre-existing ideas that are not so. Because that can be a very traumatic experience. It's an ego death thing. It's not for people who are naturally more hypocritical. Like women, women don't get as traumatized by being the bitch of the next guy that came in and conquering your land, just because that's something they've always done. People who tend to feel guilt more are going to be more traumatized from the thing.
Yeah. I guess it's because he's a public figure and he...
correlates with intelligence.
Huh.
So if you're smart, not only do you get to anticipate the shit show, you get to enjoy it more than everybody because you have the greater capacity for suffering.
Yay!
Although you could just become a psychopath like Bail It Myth.
Yeah, you could.
There's probably going to be some people who do that out.
I think I've done a pretty good job of laying out the possibilities with the On Morality post, which is that's an actually really good post. On Morality and the How to Live Your Life at the End of the World, those are two actually really good posts. But yeah, it's already, I laid it out, I guess.
I forget, what does ataraxia mean?
It means different things to different people.
Damn it, I'm going to have to Google it. Oh wait, we talked about this. I remember, I think on the Halloween podcast, something about different forms of happiness.
I have
Different ideas of what serene calmness means. It's
we are
Nirvana. How you're talking about like Nirvana might just be baseline.
Yeah.
Ataraxia is a fancy way of saying Nirvana. If you're a fucking hippie.
And the different Greek schools of thought have their different ideas of what is ataraxia. Yes.
It's a good term. I think we would call this security or confidence, or I like equanimity for it.
It's kind of interesting that the posts on it actually line up with the name for the most part. That's good. That wasn't intentional.
I don't understand how they line up. You're talking about like just it happened that the best posts on the blog were about the thing that the blog's about.
Right, and they could have been about, the KLF or a bunch of other crap.
Yeah. Or the importance of eating a lot of kale.
Oh, yes. I'm on the vegetarian fried carbs diet. That's all I eat. I eat French fries. I eat wheat buns. Best diet for sure.
I'm not really on a diet right now. I think I need to get back on one. My mental acuity is beginning to suffer, and I need to be performing at a high level. Much higher.
Right.
Because there's actually a lot of shit to do, and I need to be more focused about it.
Well, you and me both.
I'm going to write the book.
Write the what? Skype.
Oh, I said if I'm going to write the book. Then I started thinking. Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. I said if I'm going to write the Bailet book, I have to concentrate and shit. Then I started thinking about the Bailet music, and I drifted off.
Here it comes. The people who are listening to this, they can hear it. They can hear the Bailet music. I'll edit it in.
It makes me sad to think that I can't hear it. Is this what irony is like? I feel like I'm in a tragedy.
I don't know. It's I probably shouldn't have drank what I drank. I'm a little not as mentally here as I was, but I can keep up with what you're saying.
Well, in your defense, you came in hot, and we've been going for 2 hours. How much have you had?
Only 6, but with so much sleep deprivation, it has quite an effect. Also, empty stomach.
Oh, Lord. We need to, make you a hedonist or something. Because I think you're blackpilling too hard on the taking care of yourself part.
I agree with that.
You need to believe at the end of the thing for the plan to work.
I know, I need to survive if the plan's gonna work. It's been, I'll admit, I've let myself go the last month or two.
Which is kind of fine because you're 23-ish, but 23...
22.
I could pick up on the joke.
Oh,
well, I can't be expected to remember things like numbers.
I can't remember my middle name, so that's fine.
I'm being returned and I don't have an excuse. Oh right, you need to be alive at the end of the thing, and also you don't want to come out with any leftover damage or problems to work through.
Well, I have to watch Technolize. Okay. Maybe I should watch Technolize tonight. Watch the whole thing.
Why would you? Are you trying to ruin yourself all at once? And that might be a too personal question.
No, it's
wondering, like, why would you go for the worst possible time with the thing that's supposed to fuck your shit up?
No, really, it's an honest thing though, because I realize I have to reach a new level of suffering to get any new insights. I don't think I explain things well enough in the realm of Hungry Ghosts. I'm going to try to do my best to tie it all together at some point after a certain post gets done, and then I'll, maybe end the blog on a final post, and then get back to Fight Failure.
Okay. It's like so it is an immiserating on purpose thing, but is telos the right word here?
There's a goal. I don't know anything else to say. It's not just like, hey man, fuck my shit up, bro. Can you please fuck my shit up? It's not like that.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
And I want to feel it. I want to feel it in my dick. It's not like that, thankfully. And also, I've been much more black-pilled. I'm talking. What?
After our cardio competition, I'm going to punch you in the ear.
That's the word. I like my hearing. Punch me anywhere but the ear. You can even give me brain damage. I'd love to get some fucking brain damage. But don't punch me in the ear.
Right. Well, if I wanted to give you the brain damage, I would do one of them open palm. That's how you blow out somebody's eardrum if you're trying to do that.
That's cruel as fuck.
With an open hand in the ear.
I care very much about my hearing, and it bothers me very much that I have the amount of damage that I have, which is probably less than the average person, but I notice it quite well, and it fucking pisses me off that I have tinnitus tones of any kind.
That would suck.
But to an average person, they wouldn't hear the tones I hear, I don't think. It's, I can still hear up to 17,000 hertz, so I actually have exceptionally good hearing for my age, and especially considering I did live sound for rave parties, for God's sake, stuck my damn head in 18-inch subwoofers. It's pretty amazing that my hearing's as good as it is. Most of the damage is actually in the mid-range, around 800 and 900 hertz, for whatever that's worth. I guess nobody listening to this is an audio nerd. I also have dampening around I have dampening around 2,000 hertz, which is why when you listen to that edit I did of that song you liked, the guitars has so much more, you could call it bite to them, because that's just what I have to do to make it sound like it used to sound to me 5 years ago.
I thought it came out good for normal here though, because the solo was awesome.
I think people really like those frequencies in general. That 2,000 to 3,000 hertz, that is where the crunch of the guitar really is. It's if you listen to the Smashing Pumpkins record, Siamese Dream, the guitars have like 800 to 2,000 scooped out pretty heavily. The vocals sit there, some of the snare sits there, but they really get up to like negative 24 or even negative 18 dB of 2 to 3K. Like I think it's Today. So Today by the Smashing Pumpkins, that is what 2 to 3K sounds like in the guitars. Just so you know. So people, that's a lesson, guys. You're learning things.
Do you want to do a quick impromptu Ataraxia radio thing and throw that song in here?
Let's just keep it going. I could play a little bit of the guitar, like right here. Edit it in future MM. Edit in like 5 seconds of the guitar so you don't get copy struck. So I'll do that, but let's just keep it going because I know whenever we retool, it always fucks up.
Okay. I like the higher sounds. Does that make me a bad person?
Do you?
I've always liked the upper registers of where a guitar goes. Last couple of octaves on it.
No, that's not a problem. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to talk about, right? Because I'm thinking of equalization and the actual spectral components of the sound. So when you talk about the notes themselves, it kind of loses some meaning to me. But you're talking about like noodling a guitar or what?
Yeah. I'm talking like the octave two up from above middle C, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm onto that region, especially for very, very soft type of music, but also for guitar solos.
Right.
I actually have to stop myself from hanging out there all the time if I'm writing music, and it's not as much of a problem anymore. But just because, like, I just enjoy sounds in that region that much.
Right. Well, that's fair.
But you gotta mix it up. You can't.
Yeah, it's like the Alice in Chains song "Them Bones." You know, it's got a lot of that with the solo. It's got a lot of 2 to 4K, like an immense amount. I love the sound of that. This is where I should mention something to people. I'm kind of spurging out. I'm a little drunk, but any sound below 2,000 hertz, the louder it gets, the deeper to your ears it sounds. It actually sounds lower in pitch as the volume increases. Now, it can still sound whiny, especially in the 1 to 2K, because that's where a lot of the sounds that allow you to understand speech are. So you don't want to have too much 1 to 2K. You can take somebody's head off, so to speak. But pop music has a lot. But like, in my opinion, 100 to 300 hertz is absolutely, it's like crucial. That's what I love. I love that, especially around 200 hertz. And then what you were talking about,
drum and bass.
Drum and bass. Yeah, the drum and bass snare is actually centered almost always around 200 hertz. It's perfect. I'm spurging out. I shouldn't keep talking about music and audio stuff.
Being drunk is the best time for spurging. I should know. In fact, I haven't written a drunk post in a long time. I should do that again sometime.
Oh shit, food is here.
I think... does that mean it's time to go, or do you get to have food delivered to you?
I can go up and get it and come back. If you want to keep going.
I'm scheduled to get drunk in 2 weeks. Just so you're aware. We should do a drunk cast at that time, and I should try to write a drunk post.
That's a good idea. But do you want to continue this or what?
I'd be more than happy to go to bed too.
All right, it's up to you, man. Because I'm on another planet.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that must be talked about. I think the answer is no. So
all right,
let's go ahead and call it. It should be a lot easier to clean this one up because it feels very. We should have a sign-off thing really quick.
Goodbye, faggots.
Nah. It's because they're homosexuals. Okay, so this one should be easier to clean up, and I feel like there was a lot of good stuff in there because it was very high energy.
Yeah, I might just post it. I mean, I'm kind of getting lazy. So, yeah, it was good.